Harley built their business on relationships. We knew we had a family of hardcore bikers, but we were very careful not to alienate them, because we want that little edgy image, and the real conflict is how you keep that rough image and still expand and bring more people in. And there is a little bit of biker in all of us. And I think the real success of Harley-Davidson is when we provided a lifestyle for those people. And the way we told them about the lifestyle was that we mail them, 1 million people belong to the Harley Owners Group. And we mail them a beautiful, 28-page to 48-page, brochure twice every other month. And it started, just with 30,000 people the first year. Now we have 1 million. But the advantage of one, like the example I gave today, when we mailed every chief of police, throughout the United States, a direct mail piece, it was 28 pages of why Harley and all that good stuff. That's something he can't take his finger and go delete. That's something it's coffee table. And he's going to put it in a file, or he's going to put it on his desk, and he's going to go back to it. Because once you delete something, a message like that, don't even look at it, or you save it. How many times do you go back to something you've really saved when it comes to a mailing from a company, if you want to call it, or a communication? The web is good in some ways, where there's a 2.5-minute commercial on Harley about riding. You can do that on the web, but you can't do that on TV. And so that the hog mailing, the Harley Owners Group, is really the guts of communicating with our customer. Look for people with passion that want to have a relationship, that believe in your values. At Harley we had values like tell the truth, be fair, keep your promises, encourage intellectual curiosity, and respect the individual. And that was the learning experience in creating a culture. And if you spread that culture, throughout the whole organization, and they spread it to your customers, that's when, the common denominator is owning that motorcycle. And you could be a pig farmer or a multi-millionaire. I've met them all, rode with them both, the movie stars and the pig farmers, and something. And when you throw that leg over that bike, that's the common denominator, and everybody's a brother, and they're all the same. There is no status in motorcycling. And to create that relationship atmosphere, I think, was the key to the whole thing, because then the passion comes out. And the passion, as I said, is the difference between winning and losing, success and failure. And when you have passion on what you do, then you can make mistakes, and you're going to get forgiven for those mistakes. There's a couple things in direct mail that really make it successful that you got to do. One is measuring it, and measuring the impact and making sure it's not wasteful. So what you got to do is you got to make it easy for the person who's receiving that direct mail piece to email you, or to pick up the phone, or to have a return card. Take me off your list. This person's no longer interested. And so effective mailing is very, very important. And the turnover, you got to stay on top of that. And once a year, we got to sit down and review your mailing list. The other key that we measure is pass on. And if we make the piece worthwhile and coffee table type, our research shows that that person will share that piece with 2, 3, 4 people. And saying, let's do this, or look at that ride, or here comes a rally, what do you think? Or do you see this new feature that Harley has in sound, or in chrome, or something like that, or performance? And what you want to do is create what I call the campfire. And the campfire is, when people sit around a campfire and they're all having a good time and smiling, everybody wants to sit around the campfire and join them and talk their language. Well, the direct mail piece that we sent out is a campfire. When I was at Harley, they gave me a chance to experiment. And my job was to do what was not being done. And I could spend here, a day talking to you about all the little things I did some things I did that were failures. And I started the Harley Owners Group. I started Harley-Davidson Motor Clothes, the licensing department, and Rider's Edge. And what I did is try to identify the barriers to entry to the brand and eliminate them, whether it be finance, insurance, rider education, going into a dealership. And if you eliminate the barriers for entry and make it easy to get into the brand, then you can focus on the barriers that you want to create to exit. And that's the most difficult thing. Why do people drop out? Why do people not want to ride anymore? And so those are two different disciplines that you got to think of, but focus on the barriers first, and then the exit second. And I think that way you really understand your customer. And yeah, the 25 years I spent at Harley, I look back and I can identify 5 or 6 businesses or logos, and whether it be rentals or motor clothes or the Hog, that I was fortunate to be able to start. And what I was fortunate is that the management gave me that freedom. And one of the best times I ever had was being managing director of Europe. And I spent a couple of years over here out of Windsor, but I traveled, you know, and I went to every single country, and you know, and tried to help them change their culture to the American culture of growth. And then and that's growth is the lifeblood of any company. And so to bring them the tools like the Harley Owners Group and direct mail and teach them how to keep in contact with their customers and happy, you know, in their individual areas, like be it Italy, be it Switzerland, it's all different, but we knew it was going to get similar. So to be a success in Europe, we had to build the infrastructure over here first, and then we keep in contact. And, Focracy has a big hog rally every year, and so we brought some of that American fun things to do to Europe, and a lot of people, when they buy a Harley, want to live the Harley-Davidson lifestyle. People in Scandinavia buy Harley-Davidsons because it's Americana. People in Germany buy it for a social statement. The people in England and in UK buy it for utility. The people in Ireland and the people in France and Italy buy it for the adventure, the excitement, the journey.